I thought I'd start this segment with a picture that appeared in a local newspaper here a week or so ago, and it's the picture of a lineman pulling two ends of a broken power line together with a block and tackle so he can splice them. And once he gets it spliced, then he'll release the block and tackle, of course, and he has the line restored. I just thought it was interesting that this picture appeared in a local paper while I was doing this series on block and tackle systems or pulley systems. And now we're going to move on to topic at hand. As we start to look at 3-to-1 pulley systems, there's a concept that's actually been there all along that I haven't talked a whole lot about, but have mentioned, and it is the concept of whether the pull line directs a force toward the anchor or toward the load. And it makes a difference in a couple of respects. Let's take an example. Suppose somebody says, I need a rope and pulley system with a mechanical advantage of 3, and I'm using 3 because I've already got two 3-to-1 pulley systems set up. How many pulleys do I need to put the system together? Well, it depends. It depends on which one of these configurations we're going to use. In this configuration, we have a pull against the anchor. So when we have a pulley system, it doesn't matter if it's a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 9-to-1, 12-to-1, it just doesn't matter. If we want to set up, we're going to stick with this 3-to-1 for example. If we have a 3-to-1, and that's what we want to set up, the number of pulleys we need to set that up is the same as the mechanical advantage. So in this system, it's 3. So we need 3 pulleys. Well, if you think you're seeing 2, you're really not. You're seeing 3. There's a double pulley here, 1, 2, 3. So if we had a 5-to-1, it would take 5 pulleys to implement. Let's look at this system. This one pulls against the load. In this system, you'll notice I have a single pulley here and a single pulley here. So for a 3-to-1, and that's what this is, 1, 2, 3 supporting lines, we only need 2 pulleys. So if we're going to use a pull against the load configuration, the number of pulleys we need for any mechanical advantage is the mechanical advantage minus 1. Now, for a 3-to-1, if we want to set up a 3-to-1, pulling against the load, we need the mechanical advantage, 3, minus 1, which gives us 2, which is 2 pulleys. So if we pull against the load, we have to subtract 1 from the mechanical advantage, and that'll tell us the number of pulleys we need. If we need to pull against the anchor, we take the mechanical advantage, in this case 3, and that gives us the number of pulleys we need. There's another implication to this. It also has to do with loading at the anchor. If you're going to pull against the anchor, you're going to have the weight of the load plus your pull weight against the anchor. And I can illustrate that real quickly. Let's say we've got a 90-pound load here, and I'm using 90 pounds because it's easily divisible by 3. Each one of these strands of rope right here have 30 pounds in it, a third of the load. But one of these strands runs through the pulley and comes back down to the pull line, so it also has to have 30 pounds in it. If we add up all these 30 pounds, there's 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30, we've got 120 pounds applied to the anchor, supporting only 90 pounds. And that's okay. When we have a system that pulls against the load, let's see what happens at the anchor on it. Again, let's go with 90 pounds here. I have 30 pounds here, 30 pounds here, and 30 pounds here. At the anchor, I only have 30 plus 30, 60 pounds. And that may seem not quite right, but don't forget, I have 30 pounds of upward force against the load right here. So a third of this 90 pounds is in this line I'm holding right here. So if I've already got 30 pounds taken off of the load, the anchor only needs to supply the remaining 60 pounds. So if we have a pull against the anchor, we're going to have a little bit heavier loading If we have a pull against the load, we're going to have a little bit lighter loading at the anchor. And we're going to find when we start to put progress capture devices in, we get a change in load at the anchor just due to capturing the load. But we'll look at those a little bit later.